Every day, people arrive carrying the same expectation. They come looking for an ancient Roman arena, a place where gladiators once fought, where emperors once watched, where history feels frozen in stone. And when they finally stand before my great limestone walls, they believe they've found my greatest secret. I never interrupt them. Instead, I wait, because I know something they don't. My oldest memories aren't the ones rising into the sky. They're the ones hidden beneath their feet. Long before they leave, some visitors discover a doorway leading underground. Most almost walk past it. And that's where our story truly begins. Because if you only look at what I choose to show the world, you'll never understand who I really am. My name is Pula, and for more than 2,000 years, I've been learning that the strongest foundations are the ones nobody sees. I've been called many things. A Roman city, a Croatian coastal destination, a gateway to Istria, a summer escape. None of those names are wrong, but none of them tell you who I am. Cities are often introduced by their landmarks. People say, this is where the arena stands, as though one monument could explain 2,000 years. If only it were that simple. Walk just a few streets away from my famous stones, and another version of me appears. You'll hear coffee cups clink against saucers before you hear tour guides. You'll smell fresh bread before ancient history. You'll see neighbors greeting one another beneath arches that have witnessed generations doing exactly the same thing. That has always been my favorite contradiction. Extraordinary history surrounded by completely ordinary life. Here, nobody needs to stop and admire the arena every morning. It has become part of the neighborhood. As familiar as the bakery, as ordinary as the walk home. Perhaps that's the greatest compliment a monument can receive. Not to be admired forever, but to become part of everyday life. If you're visiting me, try something different. Before searching for another perfect photograph, sit down, order a coffee, or a local beer. Watch how people move through my streets. You'll notice they rarely look up. Not because they've forgotten history, because they've learned to live alongside it. And somehow, that makes history feel even more alive. Long before Rome transformed my skyline, the sea had already chosen my future. Look at a map and you'll understand why I exist. I stand at the southern edge of the Istrian Peninsula, where sheltered waters meet the open Adriatic. For thousands of years, ships have found safety here. Some arrived carrying olive oil, others carried wine, others carried soldiers, ideas, languages, religions. Every wave brought someone convinced they were arriving somewhere new. Yet with every arrival, I became something new myself. The Romans recognized my harbor immediately. To them, I wasn't simply beautiful. I was useful. My position connected trade routes across the Adriatic, and the city flourished. The magnificent arena that dominates my skyline wasn't built only for spectacle. It was also a statement, an announcement to every ship entering the harbor that this was a city of importance. Even today, if you catch your first glimpse of me from the water, you'll understand the message. I have always greeted strangers with confidence, but history is rarely gentle. Empires rose, empires disappeared. Venetian flags replaced Roman banners. Then Austrian uniforms filled my streets. Italian voices echoed through my squares. Eventually, Croatian became the language heard most often. Each chapter left something behind. A doorway, a fortress, a recipe, a word, a way of looking at the sea. Many cities spend centuries trying to preserve one identity. I never had that luxury. Instead, I learned to become all of them. Maybe that's why I don't fear change anymore. I've survived too much to mistake change for an ending. For me, it's simply another layer waiting to settle. Most visitors believe the arena is the destination. I think it's only the beginning. They stand beneath my towering arches, imagining the roar of thousands of spectators. They picture gladiators, wild animals, and the spectacle of ancient Rome. Those stories are true, but they are also incomplete. If you follow the stairs beneath the arena, the noise slowly disappears, the sunlight fades, the air becomes cooler, and suddenly, the city above feels very far away. This is where I keep another chapter of my story, one without cheering crowds, one without emperors, one built not on glory, but on everyday life. These underground chambers were never designed to impress anyone. They were practical, strong, quiet, hidden from view. For centuries, enormous amphorae rested here, filled with olive oil, wine, and grain, goods that traveled across the Roman world. Empires are often remembered because of their victories. But victories don't feed cities. People do. Merchants do. Farmers do. Sailors do. Standing here, it's easy to realize something history books sometimes forget. The Roman Empire wasn't built only by generals. It was built by ordinary people carrying ordinary things. Perhaps that's why I love these underground rooms so much. They remind visitors that greatness is rarely supported by glory alone. It rests on invisible foundations. Just like me. When I was young, this arena was new. Its limestone walls were bright beneath the Mediterranean sun. Nearly 23,000 people could gather here. Imagine that. An entire city filling these seats. Some came for celebration, others came for blood. Today it's easy to focus on the violence, but that isn't what I remember most. I remember voices, thousands of them, laughing, arguing, cheering, waiting. Every generation has filled this place with different sounds. The roar of gladiators eventually faded. Centuries passed. The arena remained. Stone outlived applause. It watched the Roman Empire disappear. It watched new rulers arrive by sea. It watched wars reshape Europe. It watched families rebuild their lives. And somehow, it never stopped welcoming people. Today, musicians perform where gladiators once stood. Film festivals illuminate walls once stained by dust and sweat. Children run through the same arches that once echoed with soldiers' footsteps. History did not freeze here. It adapted, just as I did. That's why I never think of the arena as a ruin. Ruins belong to the past. This place still has a future. Every new visitor adds another echo to walls that have been listening for nearly 2,000 years. Maybe that's the secret of surviving. Not resisting change, but learning how to carry it. History explains many things. Legends explain the rest. Long before historians wrote about me, stories traveled farther than maps ever could. One of those stories still lingers along my coast. It tells of Jason and the Argonauts. After stealing the Golden Fleece, they were pursued across the seas. Some of their followers, unable to return home in triumph, reached these shores instead. ashamed of their failure, they stayed. And according to legend, they founded the settlement that would one day become me. Did it happen exactly that way? Probably not. But legends are not trying to compete with history. They're trying to explain identity. Think about it. A city born not from victory, but from beginning again. How fitting. Because that is exactly what I've done throughout my life. Every empire that arrived believed it was writing a new chapter. In reality, they were simply adding another page. Failure became survival. Survival became identity. Perhaps that's why I never worry about the future. I've reinvented myself too many times to fear another beginning.